Hi, we're finishing up today our series on faith from Hebrews chapter 11, which speaks of faith, pistis in the Greek, emunah in the Hebrew, 24 times. Let's pick it up toward the end of the chapter, verses 33 to 37. Al yedei emunah hichniu mamlachot. By faith, they conquered kingdoms. Pa'alu tzedek. They worked righteousness. Hisigu haftachot. They received promises. Sagru pi arayot. They closed the mouths of lions. Kibu lahavot esh. They shut the flames of fire. Nimletu mi pi cherev. They escaped the sword. Hidchasku mi chulsha. And they were strengthened from their weakness. Asu chayil b'milchama. They did mighty deeds in war. Hevisu tzvaot zarim. They conquered foreign enemies. Nashim kiblu et matehem shekamu l'tchiyah. And their women received back their dead who had back to life. Well, these are great things we like to hear. This is talking about having victory. By faith, we have victory. Faith gives us the victory. Now, the point I want to get to today is actually to end up this chapter is that the faith is the victory. It's not just that faith gives us the victory, faith is the victory that we have. Now, in all those things, in verse 34 and 33 and 34, the faith victory gave them victory outward. They could even, one person could conquer a whole army, and people would overcome. They would be strengthened, and that's true. When it's just between you and the world, you can overcome. You can overcome the world, the flesh, and the devil, and that victory comes by our faith in God, our faith in His power, His goodness, our faith in Yeshua. But we also need to realize in some ways there's even a greater level of faith. Because what God's not after is just the victory in this world. He's after the stronger faith that gives it. That's what He wants, the victory. So let's read what the next part of those verses said. It says now, Ve'acharim, and others, now it's the flip side of the coin, Unu ad mavet, they were tortured unto death. V'lo hiskimu lehinatzel, and they didn't even agree to be saved. They could have been saved, but they didn't agree to it. Leman yasigu tchiyat tova yoter, in order they would get a better resurrection. We'll talk about that in a minute. Acharim hitnasu b'chirpat la'ag, and others were suffered by persecution and ridicule. Halkot shotim v'gam kfalim v'kele. And it says others were suffered beatings and whippings and even being thrown into chains and into prison. Niskelu, they were stoned. Nusuba inuyim, they were tried by tortures. Nusruba masor, they were cut in half by swords. Hum tu b'cherev, they were put to death by the sword. Na'uva nadu atufei orotu kvasim ve'izim, and they wandered around dressed in the skins of sheep and goats. B'sivlam machsor, and suffering lack. Sarot vehit alelut, and they suffered tribulation and even of abuse. Now here's saying that these people were victors. Wait a minute, everything I just said there sounded like somebody who lost. He said, no, because that was the evil in this world that attacked them. And God's not judging you by what your circumstances are. God's victory is that you hold your faith in the middle of difficult circumstances. The more difficult the circumstances, the greater the faith is to match it. Let's say if somebody's picking up a bar with 100 kilos, it's better than somebody picks up a bar with 50 kilos. The difficulties of this world, those are the weights, the attacks coming against you. And when you stand in faith against it, God's not measuring by the outward circumstances. He's measuring by your faith to stand in the midst of difficulties. And today, you might be in the midst of difficulties. Well, I guess we all are. And God's looking at your faith. This is your chance to say, I believe the love of God, faith in Yeshua, and the love of my people around me in holiness and integrity of heart. I'm standing by faith in this world. And God said, you are a winner. Your faith has overcome the world.